الشوق يبقى في اغترابي فقير في الحياة من الصحاب.
Assalamu alaikum. Welcome back to a brand new episode with Good Talks with Coombs. Today we're just going to be talking about understanding the importance of Ramadan and what you can do to make it a fulfilling month, a good month. The reason why I say this is because, the whole goal of Ramadan is to, make sure that when it's all over, we're able to take away, a few key points. So obviously, with today's episode, today's topic, I'm obviously going to give a few of my own personal experiences and also just give a few pointers. So let's go ahead and get right on to it. So the first thing I want to talk about is understanding Ramadan, right? And understanding what exactly Ramadan is. Obviously, we all know, the basic, if we're like barely not scratching the surface of what Ramadan is. Obviously, Ramadan, we're fasting, right? We're not eating from sun up to sundown, right? Obviously, the concept of Ramadan is to be able to promote gratitude, being grateful for what we have, and basically understanding that the things that we're able to have, which is food, water, right? The necessities. There are some people in this walks of life that don't have it, right? So Ramadan is essentially there to teach us, right? But we have to understand what is the core concept, okay? So Ramadan is more than just not eating. I feel like everybody knows that. I feel like, if you have your non-Muslim friends and, you tell them, oh, I'm fasting, the first thing they're going to say is, oh, I mean, like, you can't even drink water? Like, what? So you're, like, starving yourself for fun. And you got to really, you really got to look at them and be like, listen, I understand to you, it sounds like it's a big deal that I can't drink water, but me, I'm not new to this. I'm true to this. I get down, I don't play. You feel me? So Ramadan is it's more than not just eating, okay? And not drinking. For me, the way I think about Ramadan is about self-discipline, right? I feel like a lot of us, we may, cough, cough me, a lot of us sometimes lack discipline, right? A lot of us sometimes we lack motivation to do specific things in our life, right? I feel like, and the way I think about self-discipline and motivation, I look at them in two different ways, okay? So for me, I look at motivation as because you know how they say social media is like a quick dopamine. For me, motivation is like a quick dopamine, something that's like a quick fix, right? It comes so quickly and then it goes away just like that, right? I remember, for example, I don't know what sparked my interest to want to start crocheting, right? So I was looking up all types of video on how to crochet. I was looking to do videos on how to make a blanket, a hat, a scarf, and I went and bought all the products. At my school, at my university, because I attend school, they had like a knitting club. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna join the knitting club. I'm gonna learn how to learn how to start the beginning, right? How do you start crocheting? What are you supposed to do? That lasted for like a week. That lasted for a week. And then as we speak, as of today, the same crochet needles and crochets that I bought, I mean, I didn't buy them. They were given to me, but you guys get the point. They're sitting in my bucket, in my storage bins, and I haven't touched it since then. They're collecting dust as we speak. Okay? So that's my example of what motivation is. I feel like it's a quick dopamine. Now, discipline, okay? Self-discipline is the long run, okay? That's like only the survival of the fittest. Only the fittest will survive. I feel like self-discipline requires time. It requires patience, right? Like, it's not, you gotta be in it for the long run. Emphasis on long run. Like, you gotta be in it to for the goal, right? Because sometimes when we do something, right, we're expecting it to get it right then and there, which is motivation. But when that motivation dies, right, what is that thing that's going to drive you to keep going even though you don't feel like doing it? And that is self-discipline. And I feel like motivation is something easy to have because it's quick, right? But are we able to have self-discipline and sustain that long run, that longevity, right, to that goal or to that thing that we want, right? That's the first part of what Ramadan is. Well, how I think Ramadan is for me. The second thing I feel that is Ramadan is also an opportunity for self-reflection, right? Because the way I see Ramadan as let me think. I feel like for me, I see Ramadan as like like clouds, right? Clouds in the sky. When you're in the clouds, you're sitting on a nice fluffy cow, just, okay, you know what? Let's close our eyes and let's picture ourselves on a cloud, okay? We're in the sky. No, seriously, close your eyes. We're in the sky. We're in a cloud. You know what I mean? It's nice. Think about it like at that time, like it's a sunset. So nice. It's a nice sunset. Okay, we're sitting on this cloud, and it's just quiet. Right? It's peaceful. You don't have any outside noise. You don't have people around you talking to you, bothering you, saying anything to you. Like, it's just you, yourself, and the cloud, and the sunset too, right? That's what I feel Ramadan is. Ramadan for me, I feel like it's peaceful. And when there's peace, you're allowed to, and peace with no noise, right? Peace without people around you. You're able to really sit and self-reflect. Like, when I'm telling, which is why, think about it. Why do you think people who avoid being alone, why do you think they avoid being alone? Because when they're by themselves, their thoughts starts to rush in. Their thoughts starts flowing in. It start coming at them full speed. So when they don't want to be, the reason why they don't want to be alone is because they don't want to sit there and self-reflect and think about those things that they were trying to sweep under the rug. So Ramadan is kind of like that. Ramadan is like, it's an opportunity to quiet the noise, be with just yourself, and really sit and think about the things that you've been trying to avoid, right? So like if it's if there's a sin that you've been wanting to stop, a sin that you've been really trying to, let go of, but because you've been so busy with life, so busy with a lot of things that's going on in your life, not I'm saying that you want to use life, life, how you call it, life crisis or whatever you want to call it, as an excuse to not think about think about stopping that sin. But when that noise is no longer there, you now have to face it, right? And for me, Ramadan is kind of one of those things, right? So a third thing, it's also an opportunity to spend times with people that you love the most, making space for them, making time for them. If you feel like there's somebody in your life that you didn't really have time to really talk to or spend time with, Ramadan gives you those opportunities, right? Whether it's your mom, your sister, a sibling, a cousin, maybe a friend, right? That will be the perfect time to do so. And then the fourth and the biggest thing, okay? Fourth and biggest thing, it is an opportunity to grow your relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Okay? It's your opportunity. Ramadan is literally the best time to focus on your relationship with God. Focus on your relationship with Allah. And literally pour into that relationship. Outside of Ramadan, if you're able to pour into the other things that have nothing to do with Him, you should be able to pour your relationship into Him as well. And I'm not just speaking for everybody else. I'm also speaking for myself too, okay? Don't think I'm, out here talking when I should be. Don't worry. I'm taking this advice as I'm speaking. Okay. Okay. So for me, I feel like that is a good understanding of what Ramadan is. Right? I mean, and there's definitely more. I could definitely get into it, but that is all I can think of right now. So my brain is definitely frying. The next topic that I wanted to talk about is the Quran. Okay, yes. The words of Allah. Yes. Um, okay, so for me, right, um, the Quran is one of those things where I have difficulty. Is one of the things that I'm having difficulty implementing into my life. May Allah, you know, grant me the ability to, take it a little bit more serious, right? I feel like with praying was something that I had difficulty implementing into my daily routine, but now I feel like I'm able to be a little bit more consistent with it. I mean, I still struggle with having a personal relationship with it. I mean, I'm getting there, right? I'm starting to, you know, connect praying with, okay, in order for me to get through this moment or get through this tough time, I need to pray, right? That is what I need to do. Now, with the Quran is one of those things where I'm having really difficulty implementing into my life. I'm really bad. Not only am I bad with time management, I'm also bad with completing specific tasks that I need to complete, right? So obviously one of my goals for Ramadan was to what's it called? Read a page a day, right? Before my day ends or before my day starts, read a page of Quran, right? Or pick a surah. A surah that I picked that I was going to actually try to read an ayah a day was Surah Al-Nes. Please correct me if I'm wrong. I'm not too good with the pronunciation of certain names of surahs, but the surah, the woman, that's what the surah is called, English translation, right? My goal was to read a page a day of that specific. I said Pacific, really, Kumba? Specific surah. My goal was to read an ayah a day. That's my goal. Have I started that goal? We're not gonna talk about that. We're not gonna talk about it. But alhamdulillah, with the guidance of Allah, we're gonna get there. We're gonna get there, okay? God got his hand on me. But I feel like once I get the hang of it, I feel like it can be really beneficial in terms of my growth in connecting to Allah. I would say the biggest thing that has been an eye opener for me is one, because not back in the day, but before I prioritized learning the words of Allah, right? I would just, when I would pray or when I recite, specific surahs, I would just recite them, right? And I wouldn't even know the meaning behind them, right? I would just recite it and not even know what it's talking about. You feel me? I just know that I'm supposed to recite this. I would just recite the ones that I know. But once I've learned the translation, right? And when I say there's a difference between learning and deepen it, okay? Once I learned and then also deep what the surah is saying, now when I recite the surah, I'm like, okay, this is what I'm saying. And it feels so different. It feels so different. Like, I don't know how to explain it. I honestly don't know the best way to put it. But it's definitely a different feeling. Like, no lie. For example, Surah Al-Fatiha, right? Even though I'm not able to fully know when I recite each ayah, even though I'm not able to know every single translation, I at least have a general idea of what that surah means. So when I recite it, I know, okay, this surah or, this ayah is about being guided, right? Being guided towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, right? And that for me, I would say the best way, I would say a tip for that I feel like can definitely help you whenever you recite a surah, be able to understand exactly what you're reciting, is Quran journaling, right? I would like, for my iPad folks, my iPad girlies, or my iPad people out there, we don't discriminate. I don't know if any guys will listen to this, but we don't know that. I don't know, Allah's all know, Allah is all knowing, so hopefully, for my iPad people out there, like there's some good digital journals, journals out there, Quran journals out there that you can use to pick a surah and write the tasfir. So write the meaning behind the surah. Some of them you can get them on Etsy for like what, $3, or some of them you can just kind of create your own, a blank sheet of paper. Write the so let's say for example I want to learn about Surah Al-Fatiha. Boom, I'm gonna write Surah Al-Fatiha. Then I'm gonna go to Quran.com. Quran.com is a really good website. Is one of the websites that I would recommend in terms of learning about the surah, because it breaks it down in each ayah, right? And then it also has the recitation of the surah as well. So alhamdulillah, it's a really good website. So boom, that's fair. No, my bad. No, wait. Hold on. My brain is moving in all types of ways. Let's refocus. You pick the surah. Okay. So you pick the surah. Boom. Surah Al-Fatiha. Bam. Bam. Then you're going to go look up the tasfir on Quran.com, right? Boom. You're going to read the tasfir. The tasfir basically, what the tasfir is basically like a in-depth explanation of what the surah is about, or what that ayah is about. So boom, you're gonna pick the tasfir. They're gonna tell you, okay, this is what it means. So you're gonna write it down, or you're gonna pick the ones that feel more like that hit your soul more. Okay. So once you do that, you're going to talk about, then the next thing you will talk about is, okay, how can I implement that into my life? How can I implement the guidance, right? Because that's what Surah Al-Fatiha is about, guidance. How do I want to be guided? How does this fit into my life? How can I implement this into my life? That's how, you're going to write that. And now, so I was on YouTube, okay, my daily scholar YouTube, you feel me? I don't be going to bed at a reasonable time, so I don't know why I decided to stay up late looking up different YouTube videos. Like I said, motivation, quick dopamine. I was just like, okay, you know what? We're gonna learn about how to Quran journal and learn about the methods. So one of the methods that I learned for the Quran journal, it was from this lady. I don't remember the YouTube name. If I find it, I would definitely put it in the show notes. But the Quran journal method that I learned was, so it's spelled out Quran. So basically how you Quran spelled out, right? So for the Q, you're gonna basically quote the verse, right? You're gonna quote the entire verse. Then you're going to try to understand the context, meaning you're going to try to learn, okay, what exactly is this verse about? Verse, I'm guessing, is the ayah. So what this ayah is about. You're going to quote a specific ayah that you feel like speaks to you most. And then you're going to write down the context of that ayah, right? Then R is read the tasfir. As I said, it's basically an in-depth explanation of what the Quran is about. Not the Quran, oh my Lord. The surah is about. And then you're going to try to figure out, hey, how can I apply this to my life? How can you apply it to your personal life, right? And then N will be right at the end of the next surah. You're basically going to write next. So after you do all those steps that I talked about, you're going to write next at the end. So the next surah next basically means the surah you want to next study. Okay? So that is one way, I would say, one way you can build a personable relationship with the Quran. I feel like the Quran is something that you can kind of take day by day. I would say the biggest thing is you don't want to speed into it, right? I feel like if you can at least read one ayah a day, build small habits, sooner or later, next thing you know, you done read the whole entire surah, because different surahs have different amount of numbers of ayahs, right? If you want, you can always start with the last 3 surahs, right? Because I believe I believe Surah Ikhlas or Surah Al-Kahf would be reading the third of the Quran. Or, you know what, let me Google, because I don't want to give the wrong information. Astaghfirullah, that is also a sin. If you're trying to give dawah or speak on a specific topic and you're out here misinforming people. So let's Google. Right now, I'm currently on my iPad as we speak. Cough, cough, because I was just talking about iPad. So we're going to type which surah is half of Quran. Or okay, so Surah, okay, boom. Surah Ikhlas equals a third of the Quran, and Surah Al-Kafirun equals the quarter of the Quran. Yes, so I was right. Did I say Surah Ikhlas or Surah Al-Kaf? You know what? When I listen back to this, we'll figure it out. On to the next topic, because I have a very bad tendency of going on a tangent. Yes. Okay, so the next topic that I wanted to talk about, stop burping. Okay. The next topic I want to talk about is fasting. Okay. So obviously, I touched briefly about that in my introduction, but obviously fasting during Ramadan is it's not just abstaining from food and drinking, okay? It's basically aimed at self-discipline, reflection, and also having empathy for those who are in need, those who are less fortunate, right? I mean, when we say self-discipline, like you're literally fasting for 12 hours straight every day. For guys, that's every day, 30 days straight. For women, sometimes we have our menstrual cycle, so we have a little pause, but still you get the emphasis. You're still fasting for 12 hours a day, back to back. Not only do you have to wake up on time for Fajr, you also have to eat suhoor. You gotta wake up a little bit earlier than Fajr, eat suhoor, do tahajjud, pray tahajjud, right? Feel me? Because tahajjud is an hour that never misses, right? We want to all try to, you feel me, implement praying tahajjud. You can give two rakats. Give 2 rakats. You feel me? You don't even gotta do too much, but do within your means. Do what's necessary. If you want to be an overachiever and do 8, my love. Like, do what you can. But 2, only 2, right? Do 2, give a dua. Like, literally speak to him. Speak to him. He is all knowing. He is all seeing. Like, you're speaking to you. I'm talking about somebody who can do it all. Okay? He gets down. He does not play. MashaAllah, he do not play. So why would you want to miss the opportunity to literally speak to somebody who can do it all? Pray tahajjud. And I'm not only speaking to y'all, like I said before, I'm speaking to me myself, okay? This is also aimed at myself. I'm throwing shade at myself as well, okay? Pray tahajjud. Boom. Now, what was I saying? Boom. You want to pray suhoor, right? Not pray suhoor. What am I talking about? You want to eat, right? You want to, take your suhoor. Then you want to pray tahajjud. Then you want to pray fajr. And then while you're up, stay up a little bit, right? Stay up a little bit. Read a little Quran. Do a little Quran journaling. Okay? I gave you some methods. Use it. Apply it. Don't be one of them people where people be giving y'all advice or tips and y'all save it for later and never use it and it just collects dust. Don't be one of them. And I'm talking about you. You specifically. Okay? Alright. Anyways, moving on. But yes. Right? You're fasting for 12 hours. So literally after you do Fajr, right? After you stay up, once you pray Fajr, it's done. Put the food down. Put the tea down. Because I'm a tea person. If anybody in my tea people Lipton, I love Lipton. I love her down. Put the food down. Put the tea down. Put everything down. Stop eating at once. I'm not gonna lie. Back when I was making up my fast, because I was one of them people that was trying to hurry up and get my fast out the way, make them dumb fast that I missed, and then boom, in time for Ramadan. Right? Bro, there'll be times where I'll be literally eating to the last minute. Because I'm not wasting no time. I'm going to get every little thing in. I'm going to get my sips of water in. Speaking on water, get your daily water intake, people. Get your daily water intake. Like, let's stay hydrated. We don't need to be fainting. You feel me? Yeah. Okay. Anyways, I'm sorry. But yes. Fasting. So you're literally fasting for 12 hours. That requires discipline, right? That requires motivation. Being able to be around, your non-Muslim folks while they're busting down on the canes, busting down on the Chick-fil-A. They getting down, they don't play, and then they looking at you like, oh, you want some? And you gotta tell them like, nah man, I'm fasting. And then obviously they give you the old sad spiel. Oh my god, I'm so like, oh my god, that must be so hard, like literally no water. And you gotta tell them, listen Bookie, like, I don't need your sympathy. I gets down, I don't play. This ain't nothing new to me. I'm true to this. Don't worry about me. Eat your food. I don't even want that. Oh, God. Okay? I don't even want that. Eat your food. But yeah, you got to tell them, like, listen. It's okay. Feel me? I'm chilling. Because you know what it is. You've experienced this. So, yes, fasting literally, it's not just about abstaining from food or drinking. You're literally practicing self-discipline. And when you're fasting, it also allows you to think about things on a much deeper level, on a much grander scale, right? I'm not gonna lie, sometimes when I be fasting and when I be driving by the highway, sometimes I be seeing homeless people, and my heart hurts for them, right? Because they're standing on that side street, right? Day in, day out, sometimes through the cold, sometimes when it's hot, like in any weather, they're standing there. And it's like, here am I'm able, like, I have the ability to get up, go to my sink, and pour me some water, right? Tap water specifically. I drink sink water, yes. Sink water bus. I don't want to hear no arguments about it. You can literally fight me on it. I don't care. But yes, I have the opportunity to go grab me a cup of water. And then there's some people who don't even have the opportunity. Bro, they don't even have the opportunity to have what we have. So literally during Ramadan, fasting is literally an opportunity from deep self-reflection. Like, and I encourage you to literally sit and reflect on things. Stop avoiding it. Don't avoid it, right? Whatever emotions that you feel during this beautiful month, alhamdulillah, like, and I pray that all you guys, everyone is able to experience it and able to get what they need out of this month, right? It's an opportunity for self-reflection. Don't run from the things that you've been avoiding. This is the opportunity to hit them head on and literally sit and dive deep into it, right? I would say the best way you can do that is journal, right? For my people who don't like to write, you can literally grab your phone, get on voice memos, or for my Android folks out there, I don't know what your recording system is on your phone, but yeah, open that up. You feel me? And sit and speak into your phone about what you're feeling. For my people who love to abuse notes on the Apple, I'm that girl. And I believe Apple got this new journaling app, whatever. But yeah, I guess it's a new journaling app. And you could sit and literally write down how you feel, right? Write down some self-reflections. Literally not too long ago, I saw this cool concept on Instagram. Where basically, give me a second. I'm trying to pull it up because I don't necessarily remember what I wrote down. But so okay, boom, I found it, right? So literally, it's basically you're writing your not to do list, right? This is pre-Ramadan, so before Ramadan, right? We have a few more days. I believe we have like about 9 more days before Ramadan. Please, I might be wrong, but this is your basically what was I about to say? Oh man, my mind is going blank. Okay, so yeah, your pre-Ramadan goals, right? So for example, it's broken up into, I believe, three categories. Three. I might be wrong. The first category is your not to-do list, right? So you're gonna basically write some things that you want to let go of, right? One of the things, it could be anything or anything you're not supposed to be doing, and is, you feel me, it's haram. You definitely put that in your list, right? So when you write that down, you then want to write action, a plan. What am I gonna do to stop doing that, right? So for example, it is not something you wait until Ramadan to start. You start now. There's a lot of things, and you know who you are, right? You know, there's a lot of things that we know we're not supposed to be doing, right? And then when Ramadan comes, we stop. So you got to ask yourself, if I know during Ramadan, the holiest month, I'm not supposed to be doing this thing, you want to figure out, okay, why do I go back to it, right? Because you're not supposed to be doing it during Ramadan. Like, that for sure. For example, music. I wrote down music, right? Because I feel like music is a big, 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 big thing. Whether it's culture wise, whether it's just music is a big thing for a lot of people, right? So we're not supposed to be listening to music, and there is some people out there who try to deny the fact, try to run from the truth, right? And it's also implemented in culture, African culture specifically, because I'm speaking from experience. African culture is implemented, is deep rooted, it's in there. Okay, we know we're not supposed to be listening to music. And you want to know how I know we know we're not supposed to listen to music? Because as soon as Ramadan come, we're all trying to stop listening. We all literally stop listening to music. Some of us struggle, which is okay. That's the whole point. Some of us struggle, but we all stop listening to music. So we know, I feel like we all know what's right from wrong. And if you don't know, that's why we research. That's another thing I would suggest during Ramadan, which I'm also going to do too, is try to research, learn more. When you know more, you do better, right? Let's not be ignorant, right? Let's try to learn, right? So for me, I can give a little bit example for mine. I'm not going to go too much into it, but for me, I stop listening to music. And something that I wrote was, replace it with podcast, right? I did try at first to replace it with nasheeds, but I don't know. I found that like nasheeds was just another form of it. It didn't help reduce my craving for it. I feel like it kind of just amplified it. So I just said, you know what? How about I just stop listening to nasheeds altogether? So I was like, okay, we're gonna just listen to music instead. Okay. I said, oh, astaghfirullah. I'm tripping. I'm tripping. Okay. We're just going to stop listening to music altogether, and we're going to replace it with a podcast. What is going on, bro? My brain is all over the place. Golly. Okay. Another thing was remove my playlist, right? That was one of those things. So, removing my music playlist, yes. So, yeah. That's an example. So you're going to write what you're not going to do, and then you're going to also replace it, and not replace it, but you're also going to give steps on how you're going to stop doing it. All right. The next section is your the opposite, your to-do list. What you are going to do, what you want to do. Some of the things I wrote was read the Quran daily. Memorize Ayat al-Kursi or Quran journal, practicing writing, practice reciting, and then you're going to put your to fix list, okay? To fix list is maybe some relationships or some connections that you have with a few people that you want to fix. It don't have to be a bad thing. It can also be a good thing, Hey, there's somebody in your life that you feel like you haven't really given time to speak to. For me, my mom, I haven't, I'm very bad with staying connected with people. I don't know what it is. I struggle a lot with calling people, texting people. I don't know. The fact that it's just the steps behind it. You're telling me I have to turn on my phone. No, not even turn. Click the button, turn on my phone, Face ID, or put in my password if Face ID wouldn't be acting fake, right? Act like they don't know that it's me. Then go open the app and then put in, like, it's a lot. So that was one of the things I wanted to fix. Pouring more into the people that I care about. Your next thing is your consistency list. What do you want to be consistent with, right? So basically that means something that you want to do during Ramadan and keep doing outside of Ramadan. Emphasis on keep, right? So some of my personal experience, I had a on and off relationship with the hijab, right? Maybe later on in the episode I might share my own personal experience with my journey to finding Islam and, basically revert in a sense, rebuilding my connection, relearning the religion for myself, rebuilding that relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But I could touch briefly on it. And when I say I'm gonna try to touch briefly on it. But me, with my relationship with the hijab, I will put it on, take it off, put it on, take it off. But then I finally put it on, and last Ramadan I was like, okay, Kumba, we're gonna cover up, right? We're gonna wear the hijab, we're gonna try to be modest. Obviously it was not the best way, like it wasn't fully the correct way of what I'm supposed to wear. But all that matters is my intention, right? My intention was, I want to wear the hijab during Ramadan in hopes that I'm able to be consistent with it. Once Ramadan ended, sadly I did not keep up with it. But the amazing thing about Allah is once he has a hold on you, it's quite difficult for him to let go of you, right? And everything is a moment, is a place, is a time. Even though immediately right after Ramadan, I didn't keep the hijab on, Allah knew that she gonna be back. She even though she leaving for now, but she's gonna be back. And alhamdulillah, like here I am, woke up and was like, we finna be hijabi. We're gonna do it. We're gonna take that big stop and we're gonna cover up. We're gonna be modest. We're gonna be a modest babe. Okay, not for the sake of myself, but for the sake of my relationship with Allah, my love for Allah, my love to be good in His eyes, right? A lot of us, sometimes we want to be seen by other people. We want to be wanted by other people. We want to be loved by other people. But the person that we should be aiming to be loved by the most or be wanted by the most is Allah. Okay? We all want to go to Jannah. Okay? Akhirah, yeah. But yes, that's a little bit of an example of what exactly that is. So we were talking about fasting and somehow we transcended into a whole different topic. But next topic, prayer and connection, building that connection with God, building that connection with Allah. This month specifically, right? The month of Ramadan is a time to increase your prayer, right? A time to increase your spiritual reflection, a time to deepen your connection with Allah. It's an opportunity for self-improvement and seeking forgiveness. Emphasis on seeking forgiveness, right? If there is something, right, you are trying to let go of, if there's a sin you're trying to let go of, if there's, I don't know, like something in your life you want advice on, you want guidance on, turn to Allah, pray, right? The biggest thing you can do to yourself, or the biggest harm you can do to yourself, is not pray. And I'm saying that with so much conviction in me because it's the truth. If there's a sin you are trying to let go of, turn to Allah to give you guidance and motivation to let go of that sin. If you are looking for a specific answer about something, right? Is this good for me? Is this something that I should be doing? Turn to Allah. There's a specific prayer. I might pronounce it wrong. May Allah forgive me, but I believe it istihara, one of those two. Correct me if I'm wrong, but pray. Like, there's nothing more to it. Just pray. Because the biggest thing I learned in my own personal experiences, even if you don't understand, like, I don't know how to say it, like that connection, right? Even if you're praying, you're reciting the surahs, but you're not feeling anything, continue praying. Even if you don't pray your prayers on time, inshallah, you will be able to. May Allah give you the ability and the will to pray your prayers on time, because that is sunnah. That's the most important, right? Praying your prayers on time, right? Cough, cough, talking about myself. Yeah, hello. Not to expose myself, but pray your prayers on time, right? Pray in general. That's the biggest thing you can do. Even if you don't really have a personal, you're praying, you're reciting the surahs, but you're not feeling anything, continue to pray. It will come with time. And think about it, praying is also a form of self-discipline, right? You're building yourself to be disciplined about something, right? Because sometimes, iman wavers. It goes up, it goes down. So even if you're having a very low moment in your iman, but you are still giving yourself that self-discipline to still continue to pray, that is amazing. So yes, like I was saying, prayer equals a connection with Allah. Once you stop praying, you lose that relationship to Allah. Think about that. Let's give it a moment's silence to let that sink in. Okay? Moment of silence is now over. Okay. Because, you know what? Matter of fact, we're going to give a little experience. Okay? Because I feel like in order to really truly understand what someone is talking about, the best way you can understand it is giving a little story time, a little personal experience. For me, prayer was always a struggle for me, right? I always looked at prayer as like a form of a chore, right? Like, I gotta go pray. Like, astaghfirullah, may Allah forgive me. It was just one of those things where I just like, man, I gotta go pray. Then I start thinking about all the ones that I gotta pray. I'm like, dang, like, you telling me I gotta pray 1, 2, 3, 4? I'm like, oh man, ugh. But I learned over time that you gotta change the way you think about prayer. If you look at prayer as if it's a chore, which is not, prayer in comparison to everything else in your life, they're not even on the same level, my guy. They're not even on the same platform. Prayer and everything else in your life, they're not even the same. They're not even one. They're not even equal, right? It's like comparing a Rolls Royce to a bicycle. They're not on the same level. Ain't nothing wrong with riding a bicycle, but we're talking about a Rolls Royce, right? So for me, I was looking at prayer like it was a chore. But once I not quickly, but it took time. But once I broke out of that habit and looked at prayer as a way to further my connection with God, right? Get more guidance, right? It changed. So I would say when it comes to prayer and building your connection with Allah, let prayer be your first step, right? Let prayer be your first step. And also, we also got to be mindful of the, reverts, the people who are new to the religion. I'm not, including the ones who are rebuilding their relationship with Allah. Take it day by day, right? Give yourself grace, give yourself time, right? The next thing that I'm going to talk about is finding a community, right? Finding unity. I would say beyond individual practices, for me, Ramadan it fosters kind of a sense of community, right? When you're going to Juma prayer or when you're going to pray Tarawih, right? Or when you're going to pray, Maghrib or Isha at the mosque, seeing all those people, because let's be honest, during Ramadan, the mosque be packed. Like, I'm talking like if you don't get there like at a specific time, it's Poe. You're not getting a seat. You're not getting space. You're gonna have to squeeze your way through. So being able to witness that, being able to witness, like, after they recite a surah and they say Amin, hearing that Amin, that echo, whoo, that is just, that is such an unexplainable feeling. Like, you have to be there. It's just one of those things that you have to be there. So it's beautiful, and I wish that same sense of community and that unity is outside of Ramadan. But one thing at a time. Inshallah, I hope that it's able to get to that point. But during Ramadan, it's so beautiful to see literally everyone comes together, and it's like different walks of life, different people, different colors, ages, groups. Like no matter what, at the end of the day, we're all Muslim. The same way when we cut ourselves, we all bleed the same color. We're all Muslims at the end of the day. And it's like, it's so beautiful to see. So I would say a tip on that will be to find groups, right? Find yourself a group of people that are on the same wavelength, right? Trying to head in the same direction as you. It's really difficult to, want to build your relationship with God, build your relationship with Allah in this time of this, Ramadan, right? It's really difficult to build that when you're surrounded by people who are not on that same timing, right? They're not on that same mindset. They're not trying to do what you trying to do. They're not on what you on, right? So I would say the biggest tip is first find your group of people. Find that people that is on the same wavelength, trying to do what you do, right? That's two. That's one. Two would be to join a group. And when I say group, I mean, like, for example, halakha, right? Here from where I'm at, every Sunday we have a halakha, and we have somebody come and to speak to us about the religion, whether it's ayah, whether it's du'as, how to pray, like, and it's nice because you get the opportunity to meet other Muslim women. You get to meet other sisters, right? You get to meet other people from other walks of life, and you basically get to bounce different ideas with them, right? You get to see their mindset, see how they feel, right? So I feel like it's a wonderful opportunity, right? And let's jump out of that real quick, right? Think about family, right? Being able to break your fast with your family. That's like the one of the biggest thing that I can say that you should implement. If you haven't last year, try to implement this year. Try to work for some sort of accommodation with your job to be able to break fast at home, because a lot of the times, we get busy with life. So the beautiful thing about Ramadan is we get to kind of slow down, right? Take a pause and be able to spend quality times with your family. So breaking iftar, breaking your fast, like it's a beautiful way to strengthen those relationships. A lot of the times, whether it's the moms, they be preparing meals to break with iftar. Join in the kitchen. You know what I mean? Help out in the kitchen, help cook. Because I don't know, like, it feels good. It feels different during Ramadan. And also with your friends, the one thing that I was talking about with the Instagram, writing your not to do list, your to fix list, it was something I did with my friends, and it was a nice bonding moment. It was a nice way to kind of see everyone else's, conclusion on that, right? For me, I feel like, yes, your journey with God, yes, your relationship with God is yours and yours alone, right? But it is also nice to find a sense of community with people who care about you, right? Even if your journey is your journey alone, which is true, it's also nice to have people that you can turn to, right? That understands, right? We all yearn for some form of understanding. We want to be understood, right? So that is one way you can do that. Okay, guys. So that brings me on to, we're getting pretty close to the end, but brings me on to my next topic of charity, right? Compassion. Um, Ramadan definitely emphasizes the acts of charity and compassion. You know, you know, during that time, it's important to, immerse yourself in community service, or also reflect on the importance of generosity and empathy, right? So when I say acts of charity and compassion, maybe volunteer, give back to the less fortunate, right? Donate, right? Pick your charity, learn about that charity, and donate a little bit of coins. And it don't gotta be, 1,000 powwows. It could be, five, $6, $10. Give what's within your means, right? If you got 10K, give 10K. 100K, give 100K, man. If you got that money, spend it. Spend it to a good cause, right? That is something to also think about. That is another beautiful way to, implement in this year's Ramadan. Something I'm gonna try to implement, right? But I want to say there is a key thing. If you're going to donate, if you're gonna charity, if you're gonna, give back, you're getting barakah from that, right? But the quickest way to, lose that barakah, right? Blessing, is if you, post about it, right? Or, show it online, because it goes quickly from you doing something because for the sake of Allah, one, and then also because you felt like this is a good thing to do, right? You want to give back. It goes from that to quickly you doing it to be seen. You doing it because you want to see people. You want people to see that you're doing this good thing, right? So the intention quickly switches. So in order to keep your blessings and keep that intention pure, the best advice I would give is keep it to yourself. Hold you what they be saying, hold your cards close to your chest, right? You don't gotta show everything. You don't gotta, give everything, right? With this day and age of social media, everybody wants to tell everybody their business. Everybody want to show everything. You feel me? I got a new car. I'm gonna show everybody I got a new car. It's good to be private about very sacred, important things. But yeah, that brings me to my next topic of Laylatul Qadr. I may have pronounced that wrong. Forgive me. May Allah forgive me. But this is something that I definitely have to do more research on. But just a little bit of what I found is essentially the night of power, right? It falls within the last 10 nights of Ramadan. Based off of what I found, if you got more information, correct information, please let me know. Correct me if I'm wrong. But based off of what I saw, it's basically a night when the Quran was revealed, and it's better than 1,000 months, right? So essentially, this is the night where a lot of Muslims engage in extra prayers, right, to seek its blessing, right? It's a very powerful night, and it's one of the best nights where you can give your du'as and your du'as can get answered, right? I do have to do a little bit more research on that, but I do want to do a little preparation, right? I want to write some goals. I would say, a few tips in that area is to write some goals. The biggest, matter of fact, that is the one tip I would give for Ramadan, pre-Ramadan, because this is literally the topic of this episode is understanding the importance of Ramadan and tips to make it a good month. So we're talking about pre-Ramadan, right? Because we have a few more days. You got time. Pull out that notebook, write down some things you want to do for this Ramadan. And I'm talking to you specifically. You. Okay? Do some research. But I definitely do got to do a little bit more research on that because, yeah, I don't want to speak too much on it because I don't want to give out wrong information. That's a big no-no. Bad. Just to wrap it up, I don't know how long I've been going because there were definitely some parts where I could have kept it short, but we're here to talk. The whole point of me doing this podcast, the whole point of me talking about this topic is something I'm really passionate about. I've been really passionate about honing in my hobbies, side quests, and really pouring into them. And the biggest thing is content creation. Content creation is something that I'm really passionate about. I am a little bit lazy about it. Like I said, motivation, quick dopamine. 1 minute I have motivation to do it, the next minute I kind of lose it. So I'm really big about self-discipline, right? What I did was, I'm doing like a 30-day, it's not a challenge, but it's a 30-day, podcast Ramadan, right? A little bit, that title's a little bit wacky, but you get the gist. So every day I'm gonna record an episode and I'm gonna post it, and I'm gonna talk about different topics that surround the month of Ramadan, right? Same thing with my YouTube. I'm also trying to do back into the YouTube thing. I've always been a YouTube girly, so I'm gonna put all my social medias and stuff like that in the show notes, in the description box, is that what you call it? But whatever, that's not the point. But I'm gonna put all that into the in the show notes, so you can definitely click on that and check those out too. You know what I mean? But just to kind of wrap it all up, as we wrap up this episode, I just want to encourage you guys to embrace this month, right? This upcoming month. I feel like the best thing you could do is come into it with an open heart. Come into it with the will to reflect, right? I keep saying self-reflect because that's so important. Look, with being able to reflect within, right? And yeah, as I wrap it up, I just want to thank you guys for joining me in today's episode. Understanding Ramadan, the importance of it, tips you can do to better yourself this Ramadan. I pray that this is helpful. I pray it's been a good episode for you. I pray that you enjoyed it. People out there that be drinking at Starbucks, buying Starbucks, you know who you is. Sad, sick. Not gonna get too much on that. You know you you know who you are. Okay, if I can let go my caramel frap, not my caramel ribbon crunch. You can let go of that the Starbucks, okay? But yes, thank you guys for tuning in to this episode today. Definitely stay on the look, okay? I'm gonna try to be more consistent with it. I'm hoping to post every Friday, but I can't guarantee. I cannot guarantee. But thank you guys for joining me. It's been lovely. And yeah. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I'll see you guys in the next episode. And toodles. Bye. Oh, and real quick before I end the episode, I am no scholar. Okay, and I'm always open for correcting, because like I said, the more you know, the better you do, right? So if there's anything that I mention, please feel free to correct me on it. And I apologize if I offended anybody. And yes, okay, stay blessed. Toodles. Bye for real.
طويل الشوق يبقى في اغترابي فقير في الحياة